This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weight. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show.
Hey, what up? Happy Wednesday, the Jason Walker Show, hanging out with you. Thank you for tuning in and choosing Jason Walker Show. Great numbers. 49 states, over 50 countries tune into the show, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Coming up today, talking football with Helena High coach Dane Broadhead. Bengals off to a 2-1 start, hosting Big Sky Thursday night at Vigilante. And also going to talk to Alex Eschleman coming up. The Eschel Special is back. We'll get an update on who's the running back, next man up down there at Montana State, and looking ahead to Oregon State on Saturday. That game will be played at Portland because the field or stadium down there in Corvallis is being remodeled. So, as always, you can watch on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Listen on Podbean, Network One Sports. So many great places. Go to jasonwalkershow.com. While you're there, click on our sponsor page and go support those who support this show. And we have some fantastic sponsors in Helena and Boulder area and more coming. So we appreciate each and every one of you. And, of course, our viewers and listeners as well. Coming up, also the walk-off, the On This Day in History. You've got a lot more as well. But the walk-up is brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes. They really are the premier log home company in the industry. They treat you like family. They're veteran-owned, family-owned, woman-owned, and operated. They take care of you. They'll build you a home that's crafted to last for generations. And they have a whole lot of floor offerings for floor plans. Go in and check them out at yourcustomlog.com. But they have over 15 floor plans. You can check out your own for milled, handcrafted timber frame. I mean, they're just amazing. And they will work with you and your budget. So check it out. Montana Custom Log Homes, yourcustomlog.com. As always, our Twitter, at JWalkerSports. Our email, jason at jasonwalkershow.com. 49 states, over 50 countries. I think I mentioned that already, but man. Let's get started with some bummer news for a couple of football teams in the state. Hayes Lodgepool announced today, Wednesday, canceling its 8-man football season due to a lack of numbers. Saying on their Facebook page, quote, due to extenuating circumstances which led to low participation for our football program, we've had to cancel the season. Also today, by the way, Hayes was supposed to play at Shelby on Friday. Roundup canceled its game and forfeiting against Glasgow this weekend due to low roster numbers and illness. And this is a trend we've seen over the last decade or so in the state of Montana, low numbers for football. And a lot of that is due to kids going to other sports. Lacrosse is huge, soccer, of course. But a lot of it, too, I think, in talking to coaches over the years, has been really, kids that grow up and graduate, go on to college, go on to their jobs, go on to their lives and careers, and they don't come back home. So then their kids are then in different schools. And I think we're seeing that really across the state of Montana, and it's a bummer. There's no question about that. It is, low numbers, and man, oh man, it's hearts go out to those kids that don't get to play, especially the seniors. We've got Thursday night football, not only in the NFL, but in high school where it matters. And it includes Helena High Hellgate coming up tomorrow night at Vigilante. Helena High off to a 2-1 start. And joining us now on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline to chat about his team is the head coach in his first season. His name's Dane Broadhead, and he joins us now on the Jason Walker Show. All right, Coach. First question I got to ask you is, if you have Russell Wilson Do you go for it on 4th and 5, or do you kick a 64-yard field goal?
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to even fathom kicking a 64-yard field goal. Obviously at our level, that's off the books, but yeah, I mean, I got to think that you go for it. I mean, I can sit here in my chair and second guess it to death, but man, I would think in that situation you probably go for it, but who knows, flow of the game, and obviously they felt good about their kicker in that situation. So, but yeah, I mean, just to see where he lined up on that kick, it's like, man, that is a long way away from the goalpost. So I got to think, I'm probably sending the offense back out, but who knows? Like I said, you can second guess it to death.
All right, so let's put yourself in that situation. It's 4th and 5. You're in. You're playing at Tech, so the conditions are a little different. Mike Van Diest takes you off the field as a quarterback on 4th and 5 to kick a, let's say, 44-yard field goal. What's your thought? I mean, what's your immediate reaction? Because you were a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, I was pretty good. I had a lot of good guys behind me. That's for sure. I'm probably lobbying for 75 pivot to Ritter, but at that point it's out of your hands, and coach has made his decision, and you're just sitting on the sideline hoping the ball goes through the uprights. That's what you're hoping for, that your guys get it done on field goal and win a game for you.
Well, I know that you would actually, thinking about it, never be in that situation. You would have the ball. You would have the call from Howlett, because Van Diest is not a fan of kickers in the first place.
No, he made that pretty well known at times. But boy, it's a weapon when you have one. You look around our landscape, and there's some good ones that get in the AA this year, and it's a heck of a weapon. If you have a guy you feel good about, which certainly in that situation the Broncos felt good about their guy, and who knows? I don't know what his percentage, making it is from that distance, but. When you have a guy like that, boy, it can really be a weapon, because it can really flip the game for you.
I think he's now 1 of 8, I think, from 60 yards plus. So,
that's a long ways away. That's a bomb.
It is. Dane Broadhead joining us, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. He's the Helena High football coach. A wild game on Friday night. You guys get the win at home over Butte. It's always a tough one against the Bulldogs, but Cade Holland carrying you guys really on his back.
Yeah, Cade had a great game. He played really exceptionally. This was, obviously he's not a secret. People in the AA know who he is, and what he could do. But this was kind of a coming out party for him a little bit. Blocked pretty well for him up front. The guys up front did a great job. But a lot of that, I don't know how many yards he had after contact. I'd have to go back and look. But, a lot of what he did on Friday was after contact. He did a great job running behind his pads. And Cade's got great balance. He's a heck of a hockey player. He's already signed to play for the Bighorns after our season's over. So, a lot of that translates into what he does at running back. He has great vision, and like I said, he has great balance, and he's got enough speed that when he puts his foot in the ground, he's hard to catch at times when he gets in the open field. So, kudos to him. He had a great game, and like I said, and he gave credit to the guys up front in the paper. His quote was pretty good, and those guys did a good job. We ran the ball effectively when we needed to, but Cade had a monster game for us.
There's a theme that's kind of concerning if you're on the outside looking in, and I don't know about as a coaching staff, but you guys have built some big leads. You win this one against Butte, but we know what happened against Great Falls High. But how concerning is that as a defensive staff that, hey, our offense is doing its job. Now defense needs to hold that lead.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that it all fits together. Obviously, you can look defensively, and there's some things we have to clean up. I think we got a little tired down the stretch in that game. Butte threw it nearly 50 times, and our pass rush kind of quit going. Guys just got worn down. But it's all connected. The special teams game on offense. We obviously did some great things. We're up, I think, 3 scores at one point and have the ball, inside the red zone and don't score. If we score there, I think it totally changes the outcome of that game. And we knew Butte, their offense is high powered. The Stenson kids exceptional, and the receiving core is really, really good. And it was kind of one of those deals you knew they were going to get going at some point, and then we couldn't find a way to get them stopped, and next thing you know, the floodgates were kind of open, and we found ourselves back in another close game at the end. So yeah, a lot of that's correctable things that we need to clean up. We've got obviously have to do a better job of finishing, finding a way to get our guys in a position where they can close out a game and not make it so dang close.
Jay Stenson, where does he rank right now in Butte quarterback lore? He's no Tommy Millott, Dallas Cook, but where does he rank right now? Because he's doing pretty good.
Well, he is, yeah. And it's hard for me to say, exactly where he is. Obviously, recency bias. You look at it and go, man, he's one of the best to ever do it there. But there's been some really good quarterbacks that have come out of Butte, so it's hard to say that. But the kid's a stud. He did a great job extending plays and doing exactly what we thought he would do. He's very hard to tackle in the open field. He's a big kid. He's an athletic kid. And he's going to do a lot of good things for them throughout the rest of the year. He's a good player, and he's got some good kids around him. And yeah, he's a good one.
I know the Capital is the rivalry game, but Butte is seeming to become that rival game as well. You know what I'm saying? It's because they're so close. They're always battling, and to quote every other coach in the state, they're scrappy. Yeah, very scrappy. Play hard, well coached. Coach Gray does a good job with those guys down there. He has for years, and yeah, we've had some fun games. We've had some exciting games against those guys. Obviously everybody talks about it, but the atmosphere that they have down in the Ranchie is very unique, especially in our state. It's when we get the opportunity to play down there, it's a great time for our kids. Our kids really like the atmosphere. The stadium is one of the coolest high school stadiums I've ever been in. So, it is. It's like you said, the proximity of it. There's a lot of things that align to make it a great rivalry. We're talking with Helena High football coach Dane Broadhead, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. You got another home game this week. 3 of the first 4 at home, including Hellgate on Friday night. Take me through the Knights, because they still are in the Knights, but yet they're actually decent now. It's not the Hellgate Knights of 7-8 years ago.
Sure. Yeah. It's a short week. We actually play Thursday. We play tomorrow. Yeah. So
I can see dates.
Yeah, no sweat. But it's a good team coming to town, and it's very similar to, at least them offensively, very similar to Butte. They're going to spread you out. The big kid is back at quarterback. He's a tremendous athlete, lefty that runs around well and throws the ball downfield, is very accurate. The Filardi kid's back. He's, a name in the AA that they've been around for a while and catches a ton of balls. They move him around, do a good job of putting him in different positions. And yeah, another team that can light up the scoreboard on us. So good challenge for us. It's homecoming. It's an exciting week for our guys. It'll be kind of unique playing on a Thursday at home, but it'll be a good challenge for us.
What makes Hellgate better the last, 4 or 5 years?
I think the fact that they just, have had an opportunity to get their program rolling again. They obviously had the shutdown where they didn't play, and they didn't have great numbers maybe, and they're starting to get that back. There's a lot of excitement. With Coach being in there, Coach Nelson taking over this year, everything I've heard has been super positive, and Coach Morris before him did a good job at kind of building that program back from ground zero, if you will. So, I know there's a lot of excitement there. I know they have some good athletes, and yeah, it'll be a It'll be a challenge for us tomorrow night.
Before I let you go, it is National Parents' Day off, and I've got to let you go early because you've got to go get the kids up. Can they just do this on their own? It is Parents' Day off. Get their own breakfast, make their own lunches.
Yeah, they should be able to. Yeah, they're 4 now. I don't see why they can't get out of bed and get themselves ready to go for daycare. So
Exactly.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, get yourself off to school. I mean, it's totally fine. You're old enough now.
No, I love it. I'm going to go tell them right now.
All right, Coach. I'll let you go do that. Wake them up. Throw some water on the bed.
Awesome. Yep, sounds like a plan. Thanks, Jason.
Good luck Thursday night. Thanks, Coach.
You bet. Appreciate you. Bye.
That is Dane Broadhead joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. It's not just a bundle. It's your home. It's your auto. It is your life. And Mike understands that. Get hold of Mike Miller State Farm in Helena today. Going to be a good one tomorrow over at Vigilante. Helena High taking on Hellgate. And, of course, we know about Helena High. Hellgate's 1-2, and it's kind of crazy. We talked about Jay Stenson at Butte, but Hellgate's got a pretty good dual threat quarterback by the name of Connor Dick, whose sister, I believe, just signed with UM or committed with UM. Connor Dick, the 6'4", 195-pounder, is averaging 222 through the air, about 50 on the ground. He's got 10 total touchdowns, and that includes the fact that Hellgate was shut out last week. So it's going to be a good test. Carter Kraft, Helena High Jr., 205 yards last week, and he's a pretty good dual threat. Cade Holland, couple 100-yard games. He's got Manu Mello as well out there, so it's going to be fun. Going to be a fun game over at Vigilante. Kickoff 7 o'clock. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and when we return, we'll talk Bobcat football along with Bozeman, Gallatin, Belgrade, get an update on the AA schools down there, as Alex Eschleman is set to join us for the Eschel Special. That's next. The Walk-Up, brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes, the premier log home company in the industry. Check them out, yourcustomlog.com. Alex Eschleman next when we come back here. Jason Walker Show.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
L&P Grocery offers Boulder a convenient shopping experience, whether you're stopping in for a few things or stocking up for the week ahead. From fresh produce and meat to all the staples you need to feed your family, you'll find it here. L&P Grocery is also proud to have partnerships with local brands and carry products unique to the area. Stop by to exchange propane tanks, pick up fishing tackle, grab your prescription, or get your photo taken at the Pitcher Kiosk. They're delighted to be the one-stop shop for local area Boulder residents who want to support local business. Visit lnpgrocery.com and at 215 North Main Street. Fall is officially here, and now is the perfect time to get your rig tuned up before the big hunt. That means a lift kit from Auto Concepts. An Auto Concepts lift kit will help take you places only the animals can go. And when you do get that big one, make sure you have help to get it home with a winch to pull it out. Or maybe you'll be a good friend and help pull someone out of the snowbank. Check out AutoConceptsHelena.com for more ideas. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Looking for something sweet before work? How about that fresh brewed coffee? Maybe a fresh baked cinnamon roll as you head in for another great day exploring. Then look no further than the Sweet Spot in Boulder. Whatever your pleasure, the Sweet Spot has everything to fix that craving. From daily specials and rolls to tasty cookies and more. Don't forget that caramel macchiato or espresso and many more of your favorite flavors. The Sweet Spot caters to the local community and cares about providing the best treats every day. Visit the Sweet Spot on Facebook or in Boulder at 102 North Main Street. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark Laroe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Ah, summer. A time to work in the yard and get all those projects that you've been thinking about all winter done. And when you've had enough, go to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar to cool off, relax, laugh a little or a lot, your choice, have a drink and play your favorite games. There's plenty of new games and your old favorites. Now, if you don't want to work hard and the relaxing part sounds the best to you, then just head over to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar on Dredge behind Jade Restaurant. Happy summer, everyone.
Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
This is the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show on a Wednesday evening. It's tough. I know we were used to being at 4, but this new job, man. Getting back from Great Falls tonight at about 8:30 or so, and try to spend a few minutes with the little one and the wife. But yeah, we're here. We're here. Got On This Day in History coming up. A couple of a cute kid we're going to talk about that's not mine, but and it has to do with a sandwich review if you haven't seen it yet, and much more, including the walk-off. So it is Bobcat football season. It's Grizzly football season. It is football season, and who better to talk about the Bobcats than the great sports reporter from ABC Fox Montana, SWX Montana. Her name is Alex Eschleman. She joins us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, the Eschel Special, here on the Jason Walker Show. 2-1. All right, it has been a couple of weeks because of computer issues here on my end, but it is always a pleasure to welcome in Miss Alex Eschleman, the best sports reporter in the state of Montana and maybe in the Pacific Northwest. How are you?
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Thank you, Jason. How are you?
I'm great. Everything's good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing great. I actually Just got back from my childhood best friend's wedding. So that was a really special experience, but we are back in the thick of fall sports season. It's a little rainy outside, which is actually really refreshing, being that it has been so smoky and hot. So I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Loving the 2 jobs, loving getting to talk to student athletes and coaches. It's like we're the same now again, but a little different. But I still get to report, which is cool.
Amazing. Yeah, it's awesome. You can't replace the relationships you get to build with the players and the coaches across the athletic department. So I'm really happy that you're experiencing that.
Well, it's great too, because you have the same experiences and you get to tell the stories of the coaches, more so the student athletes, which is what we're in this for. But yeah, the relationships you have that then last forever, where if a coach moves on, the player graduates, whatever, you stay in touch at times, and it's fun. It's why we do what we do.
Oh yeah, that is one of my favorite things about my job and our jobs. For example, I was able to speak with Daniel Hardy a couple, last week before the season opener against the Bills. And even though the Rams lost, obviously, maybe they would have won if they put Danny and Lance in, just saying. But that's just one example of he's out in LA now and clearly far past Montana State football at this point, but it's special to still have that bond from Bozeman.
Well, what was great is, so I have Cooper Kupp. He was my 2nd overall pick. I drafted Josh Allen first in fantasy. So that game was really good for me. I got a lot of points.
Amazing.
From Josh Allen, the Buffalo defense I had. Cooper Kupp got me 20. And my very last...
Also have the Bills defense.
Yes,
Smart move.
right? And I also, my very last pick in the 12th round, I went with Lance McCutcheon as my final pick.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. I hate to say it, but I definitely forgot about my fantasy draft. So I logged in on the 12th round. But I got Patrick Mahomes and I got the Bills defense. So
there you go.
I ended up picking the Bills defense. That was the first thing I picked. I'm like, we're gonna grab that immediately. But Jason, you're gonna laugh. 4 quarterbacks.
How'd you end up with 4 quarterbacks?
I don't know. I've got Patrick Mahomes. I got Matthew Stafford, which not looking great. Love the Staffords though. I got Tom Brady. I've got, who else do I have? I've got Tagovailoa with the Dolphins. I'm just like, oh God.
Now that's interesting that everybody in the world calls him Tua, and you actually called him by his last name.
I was going to say Tui because I'm so used to saying Tui with Montana State, who just graduated, the O-lineman. So I'm like, I don't want to mess that one up.
But nobody else can say Tua's last name, so well done.
Thank you. Yeah,
We are talking with Alex Eschleman, ABC Fox Montana, SWX Montana sports reporter. All right, 2-0 to start, 2 inferior opponents for Montana State. They took care of business, but is there anybody left in the stable and running back right now? I mean, holy cow.
I know. That is a great question. I know it was such a bummer because like I said, I was in a wedding this weekend, so I wasn't able to be at the Moorhead State game. Thankfully, Montana State dominated, and no surprise there. But when I was, watching the highlights, reading over the recap, and it said, I just had a long list of running backs out. And then Lane Sumner at the end, I'm like, no, I was so excited about Lane's breakout performance in that first game. So I think here's the thing. It's better to have this happen now than towards the end of the season. We always talk about that. Get the injuries out of the way, get everything out of the way right now at the start of the season. We already are 2-0. Oregon State's going to be a tough task. Not saying that the Bobcats can't do it, but definitely going to be a tough task. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, who knows? They might end up putting Sean Chambers as our RB1.
Right, which wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, the dude can run. That 55-yard touchdown run he had last week was because everybody expects Tommy to run. We know Tommy Malott can run, but Sean comes in and the first two games and just is like an animal out there.
Completely. And I think that they talked about this so much in fall camp, and I'm not saying that they were predicting that this was going to happen to their running back room, but they have really focused on versatility on their offense between their tight ends, their fullbacks with RJ Fitzgerald kind of leading the pack there. Obviously, you've got two quarterbacks that we know can run the football. So even though the running back room is very thin right now, I do think, and then you've got your wide receivers, of course. So I do think that the offense as a whole is versatile in the run game, and I think that that's what they're going to have to do. Coach Vegan said it best in his press conference on Monday. He said, we're just going to have to be creative.
Yeah. Talking with Alex Eschleman, Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. It is the Eschel Special. I forgot to get that in at the top, but it is interesting because it's like a pitching staff, and I always equate it to my New York Mets, but it's like, can we ever get healthy? And I think that's probably what the Bobcat running back room is thinking right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the health on any team is so tough because, and across the board, I mean, I've been mind boggled about Dak Prescott. This is we're switching gears here, but the fact that they have not put him on IR and that he is expected to play within this next week mind boggles me. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not in the room. I don't know the exact situation, but from an outsider looking in, health is number one in anybody's life. So it's just tough when this is a part of the game and this is a part of your job in your role on a team, because health really does determine so much about the success of a team. So again, hopefully the running back room can get it together. They can get people healthy as quickly as possible. It doesn't sound like, aside from Kagan Williams, which is such a bummer, that the rest of them are season ending. So we'll see.
It will be interesting to watch. Defense doing its job, which we kind of expected, despite the fact that big names are gone, but everybody else that has stepped up this year are names we all know, like a Callahan O'Reilly, Brody Grebe, for instance. But that defense just keeps clicking, which is good to see.
Yeah, and one guy too, Nolan Askelson.
Yes.
I mean, his pick in that game against Moorhead was awesome.
Then he trucked the guy.
Say that again.
He trucked the defender after it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it was awesome. And it's so special to see guys, especially like Nolan, who's a Montana kid, who's dealt with injuries, finally making a comeback. That's why I was so excited about Lane Sumner too, but it's okay. It's not a season ending situation, but Nolan's another one of those guys where I'm so happy to see have a breakout year. Callahan, one of my favorites. So excited to see him fill that leadership senior role that he's been kind of waiting his turn for. Ty Okada, you got to love. Jeffrey Manning, you love. James Campbell, the list goes on and on. And then that D-line, I mean, I don't think that there's been much drop-off with both lines. What do you think?
I completely agree. And when you have a young offensive line moving in to protect two very good quarterbacks, they've had time to throw. You look at the rushing touchdowns, both from Tommy and both from Sean, that they're doing their job. And I think that's a kudos to the coaching staff for having those guys ready to go when it was their turn.
Completely. So it'll be interesting, though. Oregon State, we go on the road on Friday. Don't have the official itinerary yet, but we will be there playing in a soccer stadium, I want to say. So
and why aren't they playing? Oh, because
they're redoing their stadium.
It's getting redone. Not Autzen. Reed's Research.
I wish you were playing in Autzen. That would be amazing.
You wouldn't be able to hear.
Yeah.
Speaking of Montana kids having breakout performances, got to talk about Taco. I mean, Taco Dowler, first punt return in 9 years for MSU. And reading what he said to the media was fantastic. Like, I caught it and said out loud, "Oh yeah," or "Oh cool," and whatever it was. And then
he was like, "I got it."
He got some great blocks, and he was gone. And that's a welcome addition to MSU's special teams.
Right. I know. That was, I mean, and what I love about Montana State football too is that they pride themselves on special teams. It's not something that's overlooked. A lot of guys get their start on special teams. Mm-hmm. So for Taco to really show up in that way, true freshman, Billings West product, you can't ask for a better storyline there.
No, it's super fun. Any other storylines coming out of football camp this week?
That's a good question. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head when we started talking about the running backs. I think that's going to be the big question mark going into Oregon State, how they're going to, be changing up their game plan offensively there. I'm just curious to see how we will hold up against Oregon State, because Oregon State, I mean, let's be real. I don't want to undermine Oregon State. It's a legitimate university program, all the above. It's a great place. However, I mean, when you look at all, and I'm an Arizona fan, so I know. I can't be saying a lot, but when you list off the name, like all the schools in the Pac-12, soon to be Pac-10 or whatever it's going to be, Oregon State always veers near like the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the state of Oregon, because I am showing my bias. If I were an Oregon State or an Oregon Ducks fan, I would very much go Oregon Ducks. But it's nice to see that they are having this breakout year really having a great season. So I'm curious to see how the Bobcats will fare against them. I
am too. And there's a lot of interesting connections to OSU and MSU with players, with coaches. I mean, it's pretty cool when it comes down to it. It's a money game. You don't want to play these games, especially if you're shorthanded, but it helps the budget. It helps these guys in general. And as long as nobody, knock on wood, gets hurt, then.
Hey, Jason, if Marshall could take down Notre Dame in South Bend, anything is possible.
No, that's true. I remember when App State beat Michigan back in the day. And then App State pulled off the win over Texas A&M. You got Georgia Southern beating Nebraska, which is awesome. And these are former FCS schools.
I love Clay Helton. I didn't realize he was at Georgia Southern now, but that was good. That was cool to see him get that win.
Well, it was funny. I was listening to Dan Patrick today, driving up to Great Falls, or not today, Monday, driving up to Great Falls, and he brought up, it's kind of a full circle type deal. So Clay Helton gets fired at USC, 4 games into the season. Mm-hmm. And then and then he goes to Georgia Southern, beats Nebraska, and Scott Frost gets fired 2 games into the season. It's a little.
Do you feel bad for Scott Frost?
I don't.
Because I feel okay.
I don't.
We're on. I feel terrible for him.
Well, nobody wants to see.
I'm like, this just stinks. I feel so bad for him.
Well, it's tough. I mean, Nebraska hasn't really been good. I mean, they fired Bo Pelini after 2 years, and you won 11 games. So in each year, they're 9 and 10 or something like that. So I mean. There's a lot of expectations.
It's just sad that he's a Lincoln product, grew up, that was his childhood team, and these people thought that this man was going to take, their very own, was going to take them to the promised land, and he did the exact opposite.
Well, maybe Nebraska should have stayed the Big 12. Just saying.
I don't know. Things are changing.
Oh, it's nuts.
Things are changing at rapid speed, so who knows? Who knows what's going to happen now?
I know. I was really rooting for Texas though against Alabama because being a Jeff Choate fan, you want to see good things happen there, and they should have won. That was a terrible call in the end zone. Yeah,
I think. Gosh, that was tough. I know it would have been so great to see them win, but I will say I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, people thought that Alabama was going to come in and just annihilate Texas. Yep. So. The fact that it was ended up being a 1-point game definitely was some kind of statement for Texas. and a type of statement for Alabama too. But hey, a win's a win, and they won, and Texas lost. So
the Grizz are on the road this week at Indiana State. Not sure I know much about the Sycamores. I know Larry Bird played there back in the day in basketball. That's about my Indiana State knowledge. But Grizz looking okay. The Big Sky Weber with a big win. Big Sky as a whole looks pretty good from top to bottom for the most part.
Grizz defense looking really good.
Oh, what have they given up? 7 points, 13 points, something like that?
Grizz defense looking really in all caps good.
I know, really, yeah. And you give credit where credit's due. I mean, that's awesome. Bozeman Hawks, Gallatin Raptors, Belgrade Panthers. Update me on those three.
Well, Bozeman Bozeman football just got their first win over the weekend, and that was good to see. They beat an undefeated Great Falls team, so that was good to. I mean, they haven't been. It was kind of crazy, and credit Sean Rainey for this. He's like, I'm curious to see how long, when's the last time Bozeman went 0-3 to start the year, and it's been 11 years. It's 11 or 12 years. So that was a little nerve-wracking being, not that I cover Bozeman. I would have liked to see them get the win. However, it was cool to see Great Falls having a good start to their season as well. So good game there. Gallatin, I think, looking really good. I think they are now 2-1. I should know that. Yes, they're 2-1. And then, oh gosh, Belgrade, I'm rooting for you so hard. I would love, they will get it together at one point. It's just been rough.
Yes. And I mean, the AA is a different breed than Class A, and Class A is amazing, and it's been a couple of years now for Belgrade. They'll get it going. I have no doubts about that.
They will.
You step into the AA though, and you're taking on some big boys of AA right off the bat, and there's not a slouch in AA like there used to be anymore. So I'm rooting for Belgrade too. I mean, I think they can turn things around. It's one of those deals that you just got to take your growing pains, right, and your lumps.
Completely. So, we're in the thick of it, Jason. What can you say?
I know. How many weddings have you been to this year?
Just the one. I've been invited to a handful, but I've only been able to make it. This one was like next to my sister's, the most important wedding that I could possibly.
I thought you went to like one or two in July or in the summer.
No. Weirdly enough, a lot of my friends are getting married. They're doing like fall and winter weddings, which is not working in my favor.
It does
because
not.
I'm like, guys, that's one thing I can guarantee you, Jason. When it is my time, I will not be getting married during football season. Yeah. It's just not happening.
I told my daughter that too.
Yeah, it's just not. People want to be watching, doing what they need to do on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Yes.
During football season.
Yes.
That's just point blank. Period.
Nobody wants to.
Again. That is aside from the fact I would do anything in the world. I don't care what football game it is. I would be at my friend's wedding. So
who did sideline last week?
DJ Bauer.
Oh, DJ
from you, and he did a great job there. He crushed it. So, which I'm not surprised.
I've called a couple of games with him. He's a good dude.
Yep, he is, and he prepares well, and he speaks well. So he did a great job.
He used to do play-by-play, I think, at Penn State for the college station there.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
He and Zach Kaplan both are Penn Staters, so they were in the broadcast school there and contributed. So it's no surprise.
There's some good broadcasting schools. There really are.
Yeah, there are.
Washington State, is that the one that's really good?
Washington State is a good one. But you know what, Jason?
Syracuse.
I will say, and I went to U of A, and U of A's broadcast department isn't Arizona State. It's not the Walter Cronkite. However, I do think that so much of your experience comes out of the work that you put in the internship, like the experience that you get outside of the classroom is really where I learned so much.
Yes, I completely agree. Street experience is better than book experience.
There's certain things you learn with book experience as well that that are important. But yes, I would say my internships were more important.
Well, it's real life. It's not
yes,
you're out in the mix. And I remember that broadcasting school. And then in 06, I got turned down for a job in Denver at the TV station KDVR because the sports director said, he goes, I'd hire you right now. You're good enough to be at Sports Center, but you don't have a 4-year degree. And I'm like, serious? Piece of paper? I've got 12 years experience covering sports. Like, I know what I'm doing. So,
it's an interesting thing we have going on for sure.
Yeah. I'm just glad I didn't lose out to you. Well, I would have been happy to lose out on a job to you because you're good.
Oh gosh, Jason, thank you.
What else did I want to talk to you about? Because it's been a couple weeks. So weddings. Do you dance at weddings?
Is that a question? Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Nobody danced at my brother's wedding.
Dancer on the dance floor, but I come from a family of dancers. My dad was on the dance floor. My mom was on the dance floor. There's no shortage of dance moves, whether they are good or bad.
I did send you a great cheerleading video last week that
you did, and now I'm trying to remember
the high school. It was like, I think it was high school, maybe it was college, but the girls were. I mean, the flyer was all over the place. I mean, the twists, the turns,
I remember
ups and downs, and like, holy cow, it was good. It was a good routine.
It was a good routine, definitely. Yeah, you just got to have the knack for it. I was terrible. Soccer, volleyball, not my thing. I was dodging the balls left and right, but throw me up in the air and have me do a backflip. Okay, just catch me. I'm okay.
Okay, my daughter just started ballet class every week and gymnastics class every week. Any advice?
Oh, that's when you just go and have fun. That's so cute. That's the time where you never get tired. You never want to get off the trampoline. You never want to get off the floor, and you want to keep doing flips for hours. I mean, so just go have fun.
Okay.
Go have fun.
They have that pile that you get to jump into of foam or whatever it is. Does that hurt at all? Because it looks like it wouldn't be fun.
It's the best thing ever.
Okay.
You could belly flop into that. You could land on your head and still be okay. That's the best part about it.
Okay. So you get to go to Portland this week. Besides Bobcat football, what are you working on?
Montana State volleyball. Just did a little recap for them. They're entering their final week of non-conference play. So they are 3-6 right now. Hopefully they can even that out here. They have 3 games at home. What else is there? Gosh. Well, this is obviously far in advance, but I am so excited. I am planning on going to Montana State's non-conference game, men's basketball, against my alma mater in Arizona, December 20th or 21st. So getting the details worked out there, that's aside from the fact, but very, very excited.
Yes.
And then high school, I mean, it's really Montana State football, volleyball, and all of the high school sports going on right now. That is the bulk of my life. What about you, Jason? What's going on for you?
Well, I will be leaving for Billings tomorrow morning. Actually, I have to drive to Great Falls, pick up one of the rental vans, and then drive. I think I have the freshmen on the volleyball team in my van, and we're driving down to Billings for the Frontier Conference preseason tournament. And so I'll be in Billings all weekend.
Love it.
And so I remember when I was doing radio for Carol, I always sat in the back, and let the team, they played whatever music they wanted, So I'm a little worried that I'm going to have to listen to some just downright bad music on the way to Billings from Great Falls.
Well, what is bad music to you?
Really new stuff. Like, I'm not a fan of the new stuff. I got rid of Hits 1 on my radio just because it was like, give me some Demi Lovato. Give me, I don't know, country.
Maybe switch off on aux. Maybe do 30 minutes them, 30 minutes you. You know what I'm saying? Or an hour them, an hour you.
Okay. I mean, it's only a couple-hour drive, so I think I can handle it. And then you're a
chatterbox. You're going to be talking with everyone the entire time.
No, because maybe, but I'm going to try to get to know the players because, Coach said yesterday, he goes, I think I'm sticking with the freshmen. I'm like, no.
And music taste is a big part of knowing the players. You know, you gotta. They could be playing their go-to game day hits.
They could be. So, yeah, that's my plan for the weekend. And then surgery next week on my hand. And then
it's going to go great.
Yeah, it's going to go well. I'm not even scared.
Good.
But, yeah, he's got to re-break the hand or the thumb and then, like, put it back together.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason.
I know. I'm looking forward.
Okay, you'll be knocked out for it.
Well, I asked him if I would be able to, and he goes, yeah, we're going to numb you from the armpit down and then put you under. So I'm like, as long as I get banana bread when I wake up, I'll be happy. Because the banana bread at the Helena Surgery Center is fantastic.
Really?
Oh.
That's such an interesting thing to know. So you've been at the surgery center more than once.
Yeah, well, because, yeah, that's where you go for, your yearly man checkup for things.
Okay, so banana bread makes it worth it.
Banana bread.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, you can't go wrong with banana bread.
No, and apple juice with ice.
Can't go wrong with apple juice with ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's worth it. And it's a great nap. Because you're knocked out.
Great nap. You wake up and you're like, whoa.
Have you had any surgeries?
I mean, besides wisdom teeth, not really.
Do you have a video of the wisdom teeth? Were you older?
Yes, I've had 2 separate wisdom teeth surgeries.
We got to show one of those videos when you wake up. Like the Taylor Swift one, things like that.
Yeah, I do. They're from a long time ago. The bottom was, no, wisdom teeth, I cannot. I hated my wisdom teeth surgery and I didn't follow. My mom and I both did not follow the doctor's directions. And right after I got my bottom teeth out, she was like, sweetie, do you want a Starbucks? I'm like, uh-huh. And so then I have a straw. I'm not supposed to sip out of anything. I sip out of something and get dry socket, and it was terrible. So
I've never had wisdom teeth surgery.
Did you not get wisdom teeth?
No, I have them. They're in there. But they've never taken them out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't at this point. They're in there. So
yeah. I guess that's why crazy. I'm so wise.
And it didn't mess up the alignment of your teeth?
No. The only thing that messed up the alignment of my teeth was last month when I knocked my tooth, half of it out, chipped it. That gets fixed in October. I did knock my 2 front teeth out one time. I passed out. I was really sick, and I passed out on the back of it, hit my head off the back of the toilet while I was going potty, and woke up with my head in the garbage. I was 18, called my dad. I was living in Billings, going to broadcasting school, and that was my Christmas present. True story. Christmas Eve, I got my 2 front teeth put in. True story.
My gosh, Jason, you cannot make that up.
True story.
No, quite the story.
Yeah, Christmas Eve. Dad's like, hey, "Merry Christmas." There's your teeth. So.
Oh my Lord, that's hilarious.
Well, I'll let you run, my friend. I appreciate the time as always. I'll keep you updated on next week. I don't know what kind of drugs I'm going to be on, but I hope it's the good ones.
Perfect. I hope the same for you as well. Thank you.
That I'm on good drugs? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. You know what? That's a thumbs up for me. Hope it's a good experience. And thank you so much. Always a pleasure catching up.
It might be a fun show to do, just looped up.
No, I don't think that's the smartest decision, but that's okay, Jason. You get better, you rest the wrists, and we'll save it. We need you on your A game for this show.
Okay. Well, you're always on your A game. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Her name is Alex Eschleman. She is the ABC Fox Montana, SWX Montana sports reporter. When can I start saying award-winning sports reporter?
Oh, just stop.
We'll just get you're the Jason.
Too kind.
You're the Jason Walker Show winner.
You're too kind. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good luck with your surgery. We'll talk next week once you're feeling 100%.
Have fun in Portland and go Cats.
Thank you.
That is Alex Eschleman joining us, the Eschel Special here on the Jason Walker Show. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up, the walk-off, tell you what's in store. Who knows what's in store, but we'll tell you. We'll try to. And we're going to try to show maybe just the audio of a cute kid kind of yelling at his mom. It's next. This is the Jason Walker Show segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Looking for something sweet before work? How about that fresh brewed coffee? Maybe a fresh baked cinnamon roll as you head in for another great day exploring. Then look no further than the Sweet Spot in Boulder. Whatever your pleasure, the Sweet Spot has everything to fix that craving. From daily specials and rolls to tasty cookies and more. Don't forget that caramel macchiato or espresso and many more of your favorite flavors. The Sweet Spot caters to the local community and cares about providing the best treats every day. Visit the Sweet Spot on Facebook or in Boulder at 102 North Main Street. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. L&P Grocery offers Boulder a convenient shopping experience, whether you're stopping in for a few things or stocking up for the week ahead. From fresh produce and meat to all the staples you need to feed your family, you'll find it here. L&P Grocery is also proud to have partnerships with local brands and carry products unique to the area. Stop by to exchange propane tanks, pick up fishing tackle, grab your prescription, or get your photo taken at the Pitcher Kiosk. They're delighted to be the one-stop shop for local area Boulder residents who want to support local business. Visit lnpgrocery.com and at 215 North Main Street.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Ah, summer. A time to work in the yard and get all those projects that you've been thinking about all winter done. And when you've had enough, go to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar to cool off, relax, laugh a little or a lot, your choice, have a drink and play your favorite games. There's plenty of new games and your old favorites. Now, if you don't want to work hard and the relaxing part sounds the best to you, then just head over to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar on Dredge behind Jade Restaurant. Happy summer, everyone.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back. Final segment, Jason Walker Show. Just got this. This is, I guess, sometimes when you're doing a show late, this pays off. Montana State head volleyball coach Daniel Jones taking a leave of absence. This came out just about a half hour ago. The leave is for personal reasons, will be temporary, Jones said in a press release. MSU did not specify how long the leave will last. Associate head coach Ozzy will take over in the meantime. Leon Costello said in the press release, quote, "I support Daniel's decision. We're committed to supporting Daniel and the team during this time," end quote. He's in his 6th year, Jones is, the New Zealand native of MSU. MSU hosting the big volleyball Bobcat Invite this week at Schroyer. And we'll open up Thursday night at 7 against Boise State. So, interesting. Let's see what's going on there. This segment brought to you by the Copper Club Casino and Bowser's Lucky Dog Casino. If you've not been into Bowser's, you need to. And we talk about it with the Copper Club. And they're both, great places. And just warm staff, hot games, cold beverages, and, drink and gamble responsibly. But have fun in those games. You can have some fun for sure. Let's see here. What else did we? I saw this story today. Let's see if we can get the video and audio up here. Yeah, there's the video. Okay, so this little kid was coming home his first day of school, and this is what he had to tell his mom immediately after stepping off the bus. No ads. We don't want ads.
What's an overdraft?
All right, we'll see what we'll get through the ad first. I forgot. Sometimes you get these ads. But anyway, here's what this kid said to his mom.
Hey, you did it. Mommy? Yeah. Terrible sandwich, by the way.
Thanks for letting me know.
What terrible.
And in our town, kindergarten is still half day. So I didn't realize that I had to pack a lunch because I thought the only benefit of half day is that you can eat lunch at home. And I'm a working mom. I was really busy and I was not prepared. I normally give him peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but he couldn't bring peanut butter to school for kids' allergies. So I had this idea, I'll give him a butter and jelly sandwich. How was the sandwich?
Terrible. Really terrible.
Yeah. In hindsight, I 100% agreed with Abe's review. It was a really terrible, terrible sandwich, and I have never made him a butter and jelly sandwich again. It's so hard being a mom, and you always want to portray the best picture, but I love that I can share my mom fail with the world, and hopefully maybe it makes other moms feel a little better.
There you go. Courtesy of Good Morning America. But yeah, Mom, terrible sandwich, by the way. I usually make breakfast or lunch for my daughter before she heads off to preschool, and every morning, and usually it's she likes pasta salad. My wife makes a killer pasta salad. Sometimes she's into PB&J. She's really into bologna and cheese. Now, she doesn't like mustard on anything except bologna and cheese. And I've taught her if you take the chips, because I always give her some chips. If you take those chips and put them in the bologna sandwich, it's doubly good. So she likes that as well. But that's the only way she'll eat mustard is on a bologna sandwich. So there you go. Let's see here. Let's do On This Day in History. It is September the 14th. It is National Parents' Day Off Day. Cream-Filled Donut Day. Not a fan of those. Eat a Hoagie Day as well. 1968, Denny McLain, Detroit Tiger, 30th victory of the season. We'll never see another 30-game winner. Happy birthday, by the way. 1959, Morten Harket, Norwegian rocker from Aha, was born in Kongsberg, Norway. Take on Me, of course. 1982, Grace Kelly, Princess of Monaco, died in a car crash at 52. 2009, Patrick Swayze died on this date. Pancreatic cancer is 57. This date in 1814, Francis Scott Key would pen the poem Defense of Fort McHenry, later became known as the Star-Spangled Banner while witnessing the bombardment of Fort McHenry from a ship in Baltimore Harbor. Greatest national anthem in the world. And on this date in 1982, September the 14th, 1982, if you were in Red Lodge, Montana, you know what happened. 3 feet of snow, 36 inches of snow fell. September 14th, 1982, in Red Lodge. Let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
The walk-off is brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at Cafe Zydeco, where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky, the best Cajun food this side of New Orleans. I did want to mention this. We've had her on the show, Linda Weiler-Jacobson, former Lady Grizz, and owner of LWJ Productions and Recruitment Services, along with Dan Tregser, owner of Process Basketball, former Shoe Circuit, AAU coach and director. They'll be holding a clinic October 2nd at Glacier High. It's a Sunday for about a half an hour from 6:10 to 6:40. It's called Recruitment 101. You learn the steps and tools your student athletes should be taking to make themselves a recruitable athlete. Linda's done an amazing job with LWJ Productions of getting the word out about athletes in the state of Montana and student athletes. And she just signed a football player, Cole Olson from Stevensville, great kicker. So it's not just basketball and it's not just ladies. She promotes everybody. You should check it out though, LWJ Productions. So she's a sweetheart, even for being a Lady Grizz. She's a nice girl. I can say nice things about the Grizz. All right, no show tomorrow. We're going to be back next week. Just keep it tuned to social media. I'm having surgery, and I got to go to Billings tomorrow for the weekend with Providence Volleyball for the Frontier Conference preseason tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. All the teams down there playing a round robin. Get a taste of conference play before conference play starts next week. So there you go. So just keep it tuned. So thanks to Dane Broadhead, Alex Eschleman, Kyle Mahelish for joining us this week. And we'll be back next week. Okay? Enjoy it. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm Jason Walker.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.